Hello, welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, Director of Sales for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from Bona Training. You sounded unsure that you were still director.
Did you catch that? You caught that, didn't you? I thought I'd slide. I thought
You're still not saying. You're still not used to saying director.
I thought I'd slide that by, but
there was a Freudian slip there.
There was a hesitation, wasn't there?
There was a hesitation. Yes.
All right, Rob.
Hey, big exciting news, Wayne, with Bona Training.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
We have set the date for the Christmas school. Everybody write this down if you want to be part of that Bona Christmas school. We did it last year. We did it a few years ago, right before COVID. It was awesome. People had a great time. We had a lot of fun. And COVID shut us down, but we came back awesome last year. Had an awesome time. And this year, like I said, write this down. It's going to be December 12th and 13th. So it's like 2 weeks before Christmas. Mr. Alfredo does an amazing job. He does the whole place up with Christmas decorations, Christmas trees, presents under the trees for everybody.
So 7 months out, you thought this is the time to announce it.
You know why?
Why?
Because we have had, I would say, Jeff and I have had already this year about a dozen people ask, when is the Christmas school?
Hey.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me. I
remember.
Feels like you're angry.
I invited you last year.
I know.
So maybe you should put this down. I mean, how awesome would that be? Wayne and Santa in the same room at the same time.
The Grinch. No, that sounds. I see the pictures every year. That sounds like a lot of fun. But before that, you and I are going to do something exciting on June 7th in New York.
Taking it on the road. On the floor, on the road.
June 7th at the New Jersey RTC Regional Training Center, Manalapan, New Jersey. Rob and I we're going to be there. We're going to do a demo on flow and vertical, and Rob and I are going to be there. We're going to have music and some food and raffle and a good time. So anybody that's in that area, or if you feel like taking your family to New York, gosh, I love New York. I freaking love New York. Be good. Spend a day there, then the next 2 or 3 days spend it in New York would be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm excited about.
What's the music? I didn't know we were having music.
Well,
is that why you're having me down just to sing?
Oh no.
New York, New York.
Not bad.
I'll sing if you want.
No, it's okay.
Do you have a band coming?
No. We're just gonna have some music. We'll have some fun. Get together. 4 guys get together. We'll have some drinks. We'll have some food. We'll we'll do a quick little demo, and it'll be a good time. We'll have a big crowd for that, so that'll be exciting. June 7th. Nice door prize giveaway. So anybody that's in the area.
And that's at the New Jersey Training Center, Manalapan, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And the place is called the Pear Tree Plaza. I think it's right off of Route 33.
Yeah.
You want me to look up the address for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I can find it quick.
You've been there enough times. It's like a second home for you.
You don't know half of that.
I don't have patience for anything anymore.
I know you don't. It's Friday. You've said everybody you're terrible on Fridays.
My wife and I, we go to this local Mexican restaurant, and first of all, the guy always gives me the bill. I've never once paid the bill. So I always hand it to Judy, and when we go out to pay, you go to the counter to pay. I don't even have the patience to stay there and pay. I walk outside. I walk to the car. I'm running out of patience, man, as I'm getting older.
That means you're turning into a crotchety old man. You don't
I,
want to do that.
I don't think I'm doing that. I really don't think I'm doing that. I just don't have the patience that I used to have.
That's like the definition of a crotchety old man.
Yeah, maybe. Um, yeah. So did you find that address yet or what?
I'm so close.
Oh my gosh.
All right, here we go.
Okay,
If
what's the address,
coming,
Rob?
if you're coming on June 7th or the 12th and the 13th of December for the Christmas school, it is 289 Route 33, Building C, Suite 4, Manalapan, New Jersey 07726. Look for the sign when you get really close. It says Pear Tree Plaza. Pull into the Pear Tree Plaza, or like the second building on the right. You'll see
Yep.
it. Can't miss it.
And then June 7th, we'll at our event we'll give away T-shirts, and that's gonna be a good time, man. You and I haven't been together in a long time, Rob. So maybe we'll do a podcast from there for sure.
I'm
And
thinking of maybe I'll bring the grill down, just do some chicken or something too.
that would be great. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
could do that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Okay. You might want to let Jeff Alfredo know so we don't also have a caterer there. Let
Well,
me tell you,
get the catering and I'll just do some chicken. No big deal.
I'm going to tell you the worst
There's always
event.
room for chicken. Chicken's like Jello.
Yeah.
There's always room for Jello.
Let me tell you the worst distributor event I ever did. When Bona came out with the green sandpaper, remember years ago, like it had to be about 10 years ago now, at least. Well, I've been Bona 9 years. So say nine or 10 years ago. So it's green. The sandpaper is green, right? So I said, I'm going to do this big event. Did I tell this story before?
No, I don't remember this one.
Okay. So I thought, all right, I'm going to make a big deal about this with my distributor. I'm going to have this big function. One of our customers has a band, so we'll bring the band. Okay. Bonus sandpaper is a green sandpaper, so it's green. I'm thinking right away. I'm thinking bagpipes. So I hired a bagpiper from Craigslist. Don't ever do that ever. Oh, I think I did tell this story.
I don't know. You have
The sandpaper.
maybe it was with a different show and a different guy. I don't remember this one.
Okay, so the sandpaper, I called everybody. All right, this is a big event, and some people from Bona flew in that shouldn't have flown in for this event. It's like no, should not have flown in for this event, Tom. So I think we had like 3 boxes of sandpaper there because the truck hadn't landed yet. So all this great big massive event, there were literally 3 boxes of sandpaper sitting on a table, and I had the Irish bagpiper come in playing. You ever see the movie Stonehenge? Where
No.
they did a documentary on this band. It was a mockumentary or whatever. And this band, they were going to have this great, Stonehenge, right? In England, the big
Yes.
stone,
Yes.
the massive stone.
I do know. Yes.
Okay, so anybody that doesn't know, the Stonehenge or Stonehenges or Stonehenge, I can't remember what the hell it is. It's in England. I seen it when I was a kid in England. But here's how we saw everything as kids. We drove by it down like 60 miles an hour. The old man didn't even downshift. It's like one of the wonders of the world. We didn't even stop. We didn't even slow down. It was like you could see it there, but we didn't even stop. But anyhow, yeah, we got that in Kentucky. The Stonehenges are massive. There's this massive stone formation that nobody knows to this day how they actually got there.
How do you know?
That's what that's Wikipedia.
You drove by it at 60. You didn't see it.
We saw it, but that's what they say. No one knows how they actually got there. This big, massive stone formation.
Yes.
In this rock band documentary, they said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come out and we're going to have Stonehenges, the stones come down on the stage behind us. Like this, massive boulders like come back behind us as we're rocking out. The music is playing. the smoke is going everywhere, and we'll have these Stonehenges come down from the ceiling and land on the stage, these big, massive boulders, right? All right, so they get on stage and they're playing, and here comes the boulders. The problem is, whoever scaled this, they were like 30 inches high, all the rocks. So anyhow, that's what when I did my my big demo day that I put out all the flyers for, that I hired this yo-yo from Craigslist. This guy he had a squirrel pelt on his stomach on his belt, and he come in with the bagpipes, me behind him, and then we should have a spotlight on the table with three boxes of belts there. And the band was playing. I don't want to say anything.
So who came in for that? VP of Sales?
Oh yeah, I invite
the director come in for that.
Sometimes you don't need to invite everybody. I learned out of that.
Exactly.
I'll also tell you that my worst day.
You sent out invitations and people answered. Oh yeah, well, hey, good idea.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'd love to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wayne's having bagpipes and everything, and 3 boxes of sandpaper.
Mm-hmm. And an empty warehouse. So and the Craigslist guy wanted his money right away. I'm sure he's been burned before.
Was he any good?
He knew 2 songs. But when you're a bagpiper, that's all you really have to know. But and I'll
hopefully one of them was taps.
There's
so
2
he could
reasons.
play taps for you over and over and over and over.
There's 2 reasons my career shouldn't have lasted this long at Bona. That was one of them, and the second one was shortly before that when I ran out of gas on the Bay Bridge with the most important person at
Vice
Bona.
President of the company.
Yeah. Ran out of gas.
I love that story, but you know what I love even better? When he tells it.
Yeah.
I love when he tells that story.
That was the most mortifying day of my entire life.
Boy, you talk to enough floor guys, you'll get more stories. The other day, about 2 weeks ago, I was talking to Sprig Lynn. Something was going on, so him and I were talking back and forth about whatever it was. I forget what it was about. But then we just started laughing about, he was talking about some of the stories that he heard us tell. And he was kind of, laughing about this and that. And he goes, hey, I got a story for you. He goes, tell this. He goes, if you want, you can just tell it as your story.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I'm desperate, but, let me hear the story first. He says, so me and the guys were working and we're on like our 3rd job of the day. We're on our 3rd job of the day and we had no time to eat at all. And he goes, and we just had to keep chugging and chugging. He says, so I'm on this 3rd job and I look over and I see this big, huge goblet of peanuts. And he's like, I love peanuts. So he runs over, grabs a handful, and he's eating them, And he goes, that's pretty good. And he goes back to work. They're working. He runs back in, grabs another handful, literally goes back, like a 3rd handful. Finally, the old woman who owns the joint, she comes in and he goes, ma'am, I just got to tell you, I'm really sorry. He said, I am starving and I've been eating your peanuts. I'll, replace them, whatever. And she goes, oh, no. I don't eat those. I just suck all the chocolate off and then throw them into that goblet.
Oh, dear God. Oh, my God.
Oh man, I lost it.
Oh my
on
gosh.
That one. And then he's talking again. I'm cracking up over that one. And he starts telling another story where this not even a customer of his is calling him and asking him question after question after question. And it's not even his customer. So finally he goes, ma'am, you must have me mistaken for the library. I'm a bookstore. And I said, oh, that is... I go, that one I might steal from myself.
That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah.
Because how many times do we do that, right? How
Yep.
many times do people, right? And he said, that is just, that was just classic Sprague. Man,
Yeah.
I'm not the library, I'm the bookstore. So
That I
got
love
to give a
that.
shout out to Sprague on that one.
Hmm. Um, you remind me. I was at a football game one time, and there was a really old lady sitting next to me on my right, and I was I had a diet Pepsi I put down on the side, right, in a bottle, and I was watch the game, whatever, once in a while take a drink out, whatever, and then I then realized that I seen her reach down there and take a drink out of it. And I'm thinking, oh, what the hell is she doing? She drink. And then I realized mine was on the other side. I was drinking hers the whole time. She got a big bag of popcorn in front of her. She's like 80 years old. I don't know her. Oh my gosh. Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. All right.
One more thing I want to talk about. We did a 2-day school up in Toronto last week. It was a BCC class, and I've noticed that at the 3-day schools, I get a lot of people that I've seen from 5 or 6 years ago. And I used to think to myself, man, they were, that 5 years ago, I just saw you. But I was thinking of everything that we're doing in the schools now compared to what we were doing 5 years ago.
hmm.
Think of all of the new stuff. So, just when you think, oh, it's, the Bona 3-day school might not be as fresh as it used to be. No, I literally said to Dee the other day, I go, man, we have so many new things going on between diamond plates and flow and red out and steel plates and wire brushing and, the oil, the mixing of the stains and the oils and the colors and the glaze system. I said, I need that 4th day back. We need
Hmm.
another day.
Hmm.
So, just when you think, oh, things might be getting stale over at Bona, no way. I mean, we spend so much time now doing the new stuff. It's like I could really use another day on these classes because we are just flying now.
You mentioned Sprig Lynn. I was talking to him this morning, and about the power drive. And isn't it funny that he was talking about his experience with it now, whatever, and I was talking about my brothers, and my brother Doug said, and they have to be sanding now 36 years or so, or maybe more now in the industry. That's a lot of experience, And Doug goes, you know what, Wayne? I don't know how we would go back to sanding floors any other way without the power drive now. I mean,
Wow.
it's such a part of our system now. He goes, I would even hate to even think about it. He goes, and this, I've said it before. Doug hated the power drive until we got the weights for it. Once we got the weights for it, then it's every job now. And I was talking to Sprig that you're going to get guys that come in the trade now in the next last 5 years or so that's part of their life so much that for us, remember back in the day, if you had a hallway that was like 4 feet wide by 40 feet long going the wrong direction, how much effort went into meticulous sanding techniques with the edger and clocking the edger and all these different things you had to do. And then you put the first coat on, you have to look and hope it's dead flat, you don't have anything going on. You'll have a guy that's been in the trade for just no time at all and turning out perfect floors. Those guys will never appreciate old guys like us, will they? They'll never understand that how hard that was for us. You know what I mean? When we didn't have that tool. I mean, really, if you think about it, that was a of a skill set to be able to do that and have no issues whatsoever, dead flat, no edge marks, just a perfectly sanded room. Now these guys are going to come in and not have any of that baggage or any of that experience from what we had to go through. You realize that?
That hallway you just mentioned was 2 hours of hard plating for me.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was 2 hours of just And the old-fashioned hard plate. Remember the
Yeah, oh yeah,
16-inch bolt-on paper,
yeah, bolted on. Yep.
the steel plate.
Hmm.
Now I know. Now with the power drive, it's like, yeah. Now we sound like old crotchety old men. Oh, you kids
Yeah.
don't know how lucky you have it.
Hmm.
We used to have to cut our own radiator paper.
Hmm. Yep. So anyhow, how things have changed. So listen, also I just want to mention too that we have a podcast coming up after this one that I think is going to be a really good podcast. Adam Bissey from Floors by the Shore out of New Jersey wrote an article for the I think it was Wood Floor Business Magazine, and I've seen it and I've seen it on I've had it on Facebook and whatever. I've read it twice. I sent it out to my team. In fact, it's a great article on moisture and well thought out. And I think one of the best articles I've ever seen. He went into such great detail with this article. He's very well respected, and I twisted his arm, and he said he's going to come on the podcast with us. And so I look forward to having that. That's going to be next week, and having him on will be a real treat. Great guy, great craftsman, very passionate. And so there's a lot of things we can talk to him about that, but I really want to talk about that article he wrote. I have two things I thought were very interesting that I was going to say in that podcast, and I forgot to. I saw this the other day where they brought 10 women in, and they said, okay, we're going to do the experiment. We're going to make you up and with the makeup artists are going to put a scar like on your face and like a disfigurement on your face. Okay. And that when they got done, then they're going to say, well, then we want you to go interview for jobs and see if you feel like you're being discriminated against because of the scar on your face or what have you. So they said, okay. So they brought in these makeup artists, like Hollywood type makeup artists, and they would do each one of them a different type of disfigurement on their face or a scar or whatever. And they would show the ladies. They say, okay, this is what it looks like. And they go, okay. So then they go, well, hey, let's do one more touch up before you're done. So let's dial in this a little bit more. What they didn't tell them is what they did is they removed all that makeup now. Okay. So from there, they brought them in to be to interview for these jobs. And then they got done. They said, how was the experience? How did you feel during this? And it was amazing how many of them came back and said, I could tell I wasn't going to get the job because the way they looked at me and because my disfigurement. I could tell already that they had dismissed me just by the way they were talking to me because they were. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. That's sad.
What do you mean it's sad? That's great.
It's not great.
What does that say about people?
It's all in your head.
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
So these things that you worry about and you carry around with you that you think people see or whatever. Although
I don't have any of that.
You don't know.
None.
You're lucky, man. You're born under a good star. The other thing is, I also was listening to this thing I thought was very interesting too. Is why dumb people think they're actually smart. And I think this is pretty fascinating. Like you ever talk to, like, sometimes you'll see like a homeowner, for instance. They're adamant about a certain situation on the floor, right? They know, boom, with 100% certainty, it's such and such on the floor, right? The reason that happens is, like, if you don't know a lot about something, you don't think there's a lot to know about something sometimes. You know what I mean? You listening to me or are you watching your phone? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? TikTok
scrolling
now?
through. Whenever I get a podcast idea, I put it in my notes. So I'm listening to you and scrolling through.
I would appreciate some eye contact, a little.
Okay, every once in a while,
connection here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So they
yeah, I
don't.
know yes.
Yeah. They don't realize what they don't know. For instance, like the more you start to learn about it, the less you realize you don't know much at all. There's so much more you don't even know. the more you become an expert at something, the more you realize there is so much more to know you don't even know. You know what I'm getting at? Let's take
Yeah.
basketball, for instance. Like, I like watching basketball.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you that I know the game of basketball. I know I watch basketball all the time. So, but if I was to tell someone, yeah, absolutely I do. I know basketball. I know a lot about basketball. Well, if I studied basketball, like feet positioning, you know what I mean, and hand checking and the strategies and different defenses and all that stuff, I'd really know that I don't know much about basketball at all. So I think that's why stupid people sometimes think they're smart.
Mhm.
They just don't have any idea how much they don't know, and they don't have the wherewithal to understand that. I sometimes, uh, I sometimes am jealous of stupid people.
How so?
Yeah, their life must be. I didn't. Did I say your life? I hope I
No,
didn't say
you
your
said
life.
their life.
Okay, their life must be so much easier. You know what I mean?
It
Not
is.
it.
It's
It would
very
have to
easy. It's
be.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would
Yeah.
think that that would be. Sometimes I think there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I look at my cat sometimes, and I think their life is so much easier than mine. They don't even know what a mortgage is. They don't know what. They don't know that there's going to be a storm coming. You know what I mean? They don't know that there's a tornado watch right now.
That's what you think of when you see your cat.
Well, that's one of the things I think of sometimes.
You know, when you were just saying you don't know squat about basketball,
Hmm.
my grandsons are playing baseball now.
Hmm.
And now it's starting to get a little competitive. They're playing real games. They're out of
Yeah.
T-ball. So I've been trying to, I've played baseball all my life. So I think I can throw a ball, swing a bat pretty good, right? And I noticed that other kids were doing it a lot different than I held a bat. And these kids who were holding it completely different were really hitting the ball. Now, my poor grandson is holding the bat the way I taught him,
Mm.
Kai Yastrzemski style from the early 1970s. So I started looking at some stuff online, how to throw a ball, how to swing a bat, stance, all that stuff. And I couldn't agree more with what you were just saying. Like, you don't know nothing about basketball. Now that I've been watching these videos, I can see huge improvements, not only in their swing, in my swing too, but it's completely different. And like, I couldn't believe you were just saying that about basketball, how easy you thought, how you knew the game until
Hmm.
you really started to figure the game out.
You know, I keep having this reoccurring nightmare
Uh oh.
that that, and I've had it a while back ago that Judy left me. Okay, so Judy leaves me. We're divorced. I marry some. I marry some redheaded chick in back in the country. Okay, with three redheaded step kids. Okay, and we live in a trailer, and it's broken down trailer. And here's the nightmare that keeps that keeps coming up.
God knows where you're going with this.
She screams at me, "Where did all that California money go?" I've probably had that dream 4 times now. Where did all that California money go?
Where the hell is this dream coming from?
Well, you said when you said teaching your grandkids about hitting the ball with a baseball, I was thinking if they're my stepkids, there's less pressure on teaching them how to hit the ball.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I got one for you. I was teaching up in Canada this week.
oh my God, please
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, wait a minute. So a guy in the class says to me, "So how was it coming through the border?"
Uh,
And I said, "Oh man, they asked a whole new set of questions." I go, "I've been coming over the border for I don't know how long." And I said, usually it's a, do you have any fruit? I said, this time they said, do you have any firearms? I
Really?
said, yeah. They said, do you have any firearms? I go, nope, no firearms. Then she says, do you own any firearms? I said, yeah. She goes, where are they? I
It's none of your
said,
business.
they're back in my house. And she goes, okay. So I told that little ditty,
Hmm.
and the guy goes, perfect story for the podcast. You know how Wayne hates your. I go, oh, you were looking for a boring crossing the
Ah,
border story. He
yeah,
goes, yeah, yeah, that's it. He goes, that's perfect. You can use that one.
that's a good one. Was that coming back into America or going into Canada?
Going into Canada.
Hmm.
Now, another thing I saw, usually when you go through the U.S., nobody stops. You just go right through the U.S.
Yeah.
Nobody stops you till you get to the Canadian border,
Okay.
right? You're
Mhm.
going in, so you just fly by. This time in the U.S., they had all sorts of dogs, trucks, and everything. And the U.S. guys were looking through everybody's car and truck as they were leaving the U.S. to go into Canada. Just another part of the
You,
boring going to Canada stories.
you doubled down, didn't you? Like
Yeah.
you had gotten a good one in there, and then you bed on that one. That's okay.
But I couldn't believe somebody in the class wanted to hear a boring border crosser story, and he got exactly what he was looking for and said, "Oh, now you can use that one on the show. That's horrible."
That's good stuff. Um, Back to homeschooling. I'd like to homeschool kids and then like just completely make up words that make no sense whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like for lunch, just make up another word, like the whole map of the world and everything. Just completely make up everything you tell them is completely wrong.
Steve Martin did a skit on that.
You're
Teach
kidding.
your kids to no, teach your kids to talk wrong.
Mm.
He said so. The first day in school, your kid goes up to the teacher and says, "Can I mom move dog face to the banana patch?" which which meant I need to go to the bathroom.
I love it. You know, I met him.
Really?
Yeah, I met him in San Francisco. He tours with a bluegrass band, plays the banjo, and I met him in that capacity. He doesn't want to talk. You know, when he's doing that, he doesn't want to talk anything about comedy or SNL or any of that kind of stuff at all. He's a pretty serious musician.
So you got a big tournament coming up next week, huh?
I do, I do.
Oh man, I wish I could be there for that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I fished with the same guy for about 30 years. He is the most competitive person I've ever met in my life, and he'll probably tell you the same thing about me. He's coached. He didn't even know anything about girls softball, but he had a couple girls. His daughter started playing softball, so they needed someone to help out. So he would shag balls or whatever. Well, in a couple of years, he's head coach and won two North Coast state championships, at least two of them. And guy is unbelievably competitive. And if you were to ask him today, hey, I know you fish with Wayne. Um, is he any good? He will tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt. He'll no question in his mind. He's a way better fisherman than me. He'll tell you that beyond with no reservation, and he believes it with every bone in his body. We fished together in the same boat for 30 years, and I will tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, no doubt in my mind, not one doubt in my mind that I'm better than him. So, but we have no real way of knowing other than, I mean, because we fish together all the time. Because if you're fishing in the same boat, somebody's making up the decision where to go. You know what I mean? Someone has the front of the boat. Someone has an advantage. Okay. So now, after all these years, we looked on a map. I said, all right, you live in McKinney, Texas. I live in East Tennessee. Let's find the exact middle of where we live, and the exact middle is a lake in Mississippi. And so I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go get this done once and for all, and figure out who the best fisherman is. You take your boat, I'll take my boat. We'll meet in the middle. It's 2 days, and we're going to find out who the best. Now, I have researched this lake, Rob. I have researched this lake. I've researched every new bass fishing technique that's come out of Japan and North Korea in the last 5 years, because they've some incredible techniques over there. I know
Really?
everything. Oh my gosh, yes. The lakes in Japan are very high pressured lakes, so they have to be very subtle, very technique oriented approaches that they use. All right, very finesse, and so they're super good at it. So they've got some stuff over here that a lot of guys over here may not know. So so I've researched like you can't believe. Okay, so I went on a fishing website in Mississippi to ask about that lake, and he has to punch in your username. The username I used was his last name, because I know he's going to do the same thing. He's going to see that, and he did. So this tournament, and the loser has to go on Facebook and say, I just want to recognize that Paul Buccellato, excuse me, I just want to recognize that I am that Wayne Highlander is a much better fisherman than I am, and he's always been a better fisherman than I am, and that's it. That's it. Finally,
this is
for all the
the
marbles.
tournament of your
Yes.
life.
I cannot lose this tournament.
This is the biggest tournament of your life.
I can't. Yeah, and it's for it's every day is for a milkshake. So whoever wins, it's 2 days. Every first day is
2-day
milkshake.
tournament, total weight.
Yeah. Cannot lose this tournament, man. He talks too
tell you,
much.
I wish I was there. I wish I could go just as a judge. I'd like to be the judge there,
Yeah.
because I definitely be impartial the other way.
Oh, I'm sure you would root for him like no other.
So who's better? Who's better looking?
Oh, man, that's a tie. That's a tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We both lost. All right, Rob. I appreciate everything and all your. I joke around about your input, but
Limited input.
limited input. But thanks for everything, Rob. I appreciate doing this with you every week. So and look forward to the next one, buddy.
207 in the
Yes,
books.
sir. All right, Adam Bissey next week with a great episode. It's going to be up there with Howard Brickman and John Namba on moisture, very in depth. So yeah, you don't want to miss that one. So thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it very much. And it's been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.